Hello, hello. How are you today? Are you well? Yeah. Not too bad? Yeah. I hope you had the opportunity to go out in the garden a little bit because this weekend it was Easter. Yes, it was Easter. So I imagine you had some chocolate, a little bit maybe. Now, did you have the time to look at the English vocabulary from last lesson? Yeah. Remember, last lesson we looked at the two people, the free diver Tanya and David Bell, the free runner. So, do you remember the vocabulary on the vocabulary sheet? So, no notes, okay? No notes, just your memory. So, how can you say in English ranger ou mettre de l'ordre? Yeah, it's to tidy. So I tidied my house. I tidy my house regularly. Last week I tidied my house. Well, I didn't tidy my house last week, but I tidied the garden. Yes, I carsha'd the garden a little bit. It was very long, not very exciting. So how do you say annuler? Le vol était annulé. It's to cancel. To cancel. The flight was cancelled. And remember, you must pronounce the t in flight. Okay, because the fly, c'est la mouche. But the flight, c'est le vol. Okay? Good. So, to cancel, the flight was cancelled. How do you say profiter de? J'ai profité du soleil. Profiter de. Yeah. Is to make the most of something. So, last weekend, I made the most of the sunny weather. Or today, or later today, I will make the most of the garden. Yeah, I am going to make the most of the garden today because it is sunny today. Now, do you remember how can you say respirer? It's to breathe. It's a long E, to breathe. Good. Now, how do you say il faut faire attention? Or faites attention. Yeah. It's you must, but il faut, you must be careful or you must take care. Yeah. Or faites attention, be careful, take care. Very good. How do you say grandir? Yeah. It's to grow, yeah, or grow up for a person. So grow, grew, grown. Yeah. So I grew up j'ai grandi. I grew up in England. Yeah. How do you say former, instruire, entraîner, dresser? Yeah. What is the verb? Yeah, it's to train. To train. Okay, good. So, un stage de formation is a training course. So, I took a training course. J'ai fait une formation. J'ai fait un stage. I took a training course. Good. Do you remember? Ow, pain. Yeah. So douleur is pain. Yeah. How do you say se sentir or ressentir? Yeah, is to feel. To feel. Good. And finally, le toit on my house. Un toit is the roof. The roof. Good. So, okay, excellent. Well, I hope you have big plans, big projects for this week. Maybe visit the kitchen. Maybe tidy the bathroom. Big activities at the moment. Now, do you remember when do we normally use going to? What is the function for going to? Yeah, it's normally for my intentions. Yeah? Or sometimes a very close, very near event or a prediction. So, for example, today I'm going to tidy the garage. It's a big job. It's a terrible mess, the garage. So I'm going to tidy the garage. It is my intention to tidy the garage. Okay, or maybe I see a cloud in the sky and I predict it is going to rain. It's going to rain. Okay, good. Now, so I say I'm going to tidy the garage. So the question, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm going to tidy the garage. Now, what is the question for the weather in English? Donc, quel temps fait-il? Quel temps fait-il? Do you remember? Yeah, the normal question is, what is the weather like? What is the weather like? And be careful, take care, because here, like, it's not the verb like. Okay? It's a preposition. It's not the verb aimer. Okay, so what is the weather like? À quoi ça ressemble? What is the weather like? Yeah. And remember, you normally, with the weather, we prefer adjectives with the weather. So normally I say it is sunny. Yeah. I can say the sun is shining, but normally we use adjectives for the weather. So, for example, it is it is sunny, yeah, or maybe it is rainy, yeah, or it is windy, or it is snowy, or maybe in the sky. It is cloudy, or maybe in England it is foggy. Now, you can see for the weather, many adjectives are simply the noun with y, y. So sun, sunny, rain, rainy, wind, windy, snow, snowy, cloud, cloudy, fog, foggy. Easy. Okay, and the question again? So what is the weather like? Okay, good. Now, the question, 4 questions, remember, normally, well, we invert the subject and the auxiliary verb for questions. So think, I will, the verb tidy, the question, will you tidy the garage? Yeah. Or, I am going to tidy the garage. So, are you going to tidy the garage? Okay, so think. Now, the question for the weather is, what is the weather like? What is the weather like? Now, what is the question in the future? What do you think? Yeah. So what, and then the verb is be, okay, and the weather like. So what will the weather be like tomorrow? Okay, or what is the weather going to be like tomorrow? And in the past, so what was the weather like yesterday? Okay, now we are going to look at the books. So take your book and turn to page 96 in the book. Okay, page 96. We have the weather. Very important subject. Always an excellent subject for conversation, to start a conversation. So very simply, first, look at number 1. Can you match, relier, connecter, can you match the words, les mots, and the symbols? So what is sunny? Yeah. So sunny is number 5. Okay. Rainy is number 4. Windy, number 3. Snowy, number 2. Cloudy, number 6. And foggy, number 1. Brouillard, it's fog. Okay, good. Now, do you know the adjectives for the weather, for temperature? So, what symbol goes with, is good with hot. So probably number 5. Number 5. Okay. Or warm. You can say hot or warm. So remember, temperature, we have warm, very hot, and then cool and cold. So cold, cool, warm, hot. Okay, so it's a difference of degree for temperature. Okay, so cold, probably number 2 for snowy. Cool, again, well, number 2, number 6, number 4. Remember, cool, so we have cool and cold. Okay, cold is very cold, cool is a little cold. Okay, like fresh. Okay, cool. And we have wet, so humide. So number 4. Il fait humide, or it is wet today. It's raining, it is wet. It's a wet day, it's a rainy day. And finally, dry, sec. So probably number 5 again. Okay, good. Now, to practice the weather question, what is the weather like? Remember, we have the present, the future, the past question. Quel temps fait-il? So here, look at number 2. We have questions for the weather, today, tomorrow, yesterday. Okay. So listen to the audio and complete the little text. But in particular, listen to the question in the present, the future, and the past. Okay? So listen to the audio now.
Tape script 12.6.
What's the weather like today?
It's snowy and it's very cold.
What was it like yesterday?
Oh, it was cold and cloudy.
What's it going to be like tomorrow?
I think it's going to be warmer.
Is it okay? Yeah. Good. So what is the weather like? What was the weather like? And what is the weather going to be like tomorrow? Or what will the weather be like tomorrow? So these are the questions. Yeah. Now, you have in blue here, so remember the question, what be like, what is something like. This is the question in English for a description. So I want you to describe something. I ask the question, what is something like? Yeah, à quoi ressemble quelque chose? Yeah? What is it like? Okay. Now, the reason we use this question is because, remember, if I say, for example, how are you? How are you today? Okay. This is a question for health, for your health. C'est pour votre santé. How are you? I'm well. How is Bob? He is well. He's good. Okay. How are your friends? They are well. Okay. Now, so how, c'est comment, but it's for health. Now, what is Bob like? I want a description of Bob. So what is Bob like? Can you describe Bob? He is tall. He is a lazy man. Yeah? Okay, it's a description. Okay, but how is Bob? He is well. So for a person, there is an important difference with how are you and what are you like. Okay, how is he? What is he like? It's a very big difference. One is health, one is a description. Now for the weather, okay, it's possible to say, how is the weather? Okay, but naturally we say, what is the weather like? So what like is the description question. Okay, now to practice, look, here we have the world weather yesterday. Okay, so we have different cities. Okay, different cities. And this is yesterday at noon, at midday, at noon yesterday. Okay, now, so I want you to repeat and repeat and repeat the question, what was like yesterday? So what was the weather like yesterday in Athens? What was the weather like? Okay, this is to repeat. So ask me the question. So you have the information for Berlin. You don't have the information for Bombay, well, Mumbai now, Geneva, Lisbon, Los Angeles, Milan, or Oslo. Okay, so ask me the question, what was the weather like in the city? Okay, so number one, for example, what was the weather like in Athens? I say, yesterday it was sunny. It was 18 degrees. Okay. Okay, so ask me the question for Bombay or Mumbai. Yeah, so the question was, what was the weather like in Bombay? Oh, it was rainy. It was 31 degrees. Okay, so repeat, ask me the question for Geneva. So what was the weather like in Geneva yesterday? It was cloudy. It was 12 degrees. Okay, so ask me the question for Lisbon. What was the weather like in Lisbon? It was cloudy. It was 19 degrees. Okay, so ask me the question for Los Angeles. What was the weather like in Los Angeles? It was foggy. It was 21 degrees. Okay, so ask me the question for Milan. What was the weather like in Milan? It was foggy. it was 19 degrees. And finally, for Oslo, what was the weather like in Oslo? It was snowy. It was 2 degrees. Okay, but this is just to repeat the question. What was it like? Or the present, what is it like? What is the weather like? Now, I want to practice making suggestions for different activities in English. Okay, now can you imagine, can you think of a good activity for a sunny day? What about the beach? Okay, well look at page 97. Okay. Imagine we can go out and do any activity we want. Okay. Now here, okay, we have good weather, sunny days, and bad weather, well, rainy days. So 2 different ideas. So for good weather, we can go to the beach. What not? Good idea. Or bad weather, well, we can watch TV. A happy activity. You know, so just quickly stop the video, make 3 ideas, write 3 ideas for a sunny day and 3 ideas for a rainy day in English, okay, with friends, okay? Okay, do you have some good ideas? So I imagined on a sunny day, walk in the country, visit a town I don't know, have lunch with friends in the garden. Okay, why not? Have a barbecue. Or on a rainy day, I imagined go to the cinema, visit a museum, do some English revision. For suggestions on a sunny day, I can use shall. So what shall we do is what do you want to do? Okay, so well, let's walk in the country. Let's walk in the country. Imperative, good idea. Or visit a town I don't know. Pourquoi pas? Why not visit a town I don't know? Or have lunch with friends in the garden. What about having lunch with friends in the garden? Okay, so after let's, we have the verb, no to, just the verb. After why not, again, it's just the verb, no to. And after a preposition, any preposition, we have the verb with ing, ing. Okay, so about is a preposition. So how about visiting? How about having lunch with friends? Or what about, how about having lunch with friends. Okay, or suggestions on a rainy day. So let's go to the cinema. How about visiting a museum? Or a different structure. Why don't we, and the verb, do some English revision? Okay? So these are the different forms. Now, you have on the website, you have the vocabulary sheet. So click on the vocabulary sheet, and here, just here, you have some different structures for suggestions in English, okay, to practice. So the first, voulez-vous, yeah, so do you want to verb, okay, so voulez-vous manger dans un restaurant? Do you want to eat in a restaurant? Yeah, or voudriez-vous? Yeah, so would you like to eat in a restaurant? We use shall to propose or to suggest an activity. Okay, and this sometimes people have a confusion. Now, in current English, we don't naturally use shall for the future. Okay, now we prefer will for the future. Okay, but for a suggestion, we continue to use shall. Okay, so shall is like to propose, to suggest an activity for the future. Okay, so shall I or shall we? Shall, it's just the first person, okay? It's I or we. Shall he, shall she, shall you? No. Just shall I, shall we? Okay. So, voulez-vous que j'ouvre la porte? No. Or shall I open the door? Or for a suggestion, an activity, no. On y va, allons-y. So, shall we go? Yeah, it's a question. Shall we go? No. Shall we go to the cinema at 8 o'clock? What do you think? Or we can use what about, how about, yeah, to select different ideas. So what about eating in a restaurant? How about eating in a restaurant? So que penses-tu, yeah, de manger dans un restaurant, or que dirais-tu? How about eating? What about eating? With the verb ing. Or the imperative, allons-y, let's go. Yeah. Mangeons, let's eat. Yeah. Parlons, let's talk. Okay. And again, here you have the verb structures for the different suggestions. Okay. Now, in the book, yeah, look at exercise number 2 on page 97. So, we have the beginning of 2 conversations. So listen to the conversations, yeah, and complete. It's very easy. And complete the conversations. Okay?
Tape script 12.7.
It's a lovely day. What shall we do?
Let's play tennis.
It's raining again. What shall we do?
Let's stay at home and watch a DVD.
Yeah, no problems. It's easy. Now, here in blue, so we explain shall. So we use shall to ask for, demander, and make suggestions. Okay, so what shall we do? What do you want to do? Yeah, what shall we do? Shall we go swimming? Is, in fact, I suggest that we go swimming. I want to go swimming. Do you agree? So shall we go swimming? And let's is the imperative. So let's is the contraction of let us, but normally let's. So it's a general suggestion for everyone. So allons, allons-y, let's go. So I suggest that we all go, all of us, all the people go. Or let's have a pizza, so mangeons, yeah, let's eat a pizza, let's have a pizza. Okay, good. Now, in exercise 3 here, we continue the conversation from exercise 2. Okay, so we have 3 lines in the first conversation and 3 lines in the second conversation. So first, you must identify, is it conversation number 1? So remember, it's a lovely day, what shall we do? This is conversation number 1. So number 3, is it a line from conversation number 1, or is it a line from conversation number 2? So find conversation 1 or 2, and can you mark the order of the lines? So what is conversation number 1, the first line, conversation number 1, the second line, conversation number 1, the third line, and you can write 1A, 1B, 1C, and for conversation number 2, 2A, 2B, 2C. Okay, so try to find the order. Okay, yeah, it's a strange exercise. So listen to the audio and see if you are correct.
Tape script 12.8. 1.
It's a lovely day. What shall we do?
Let's play tennis.
Oh, no. It's too hot to play tennis.
Well, let's go swimming.
OK, I'll get my swimming costume.
2.
It's raining again. What shall we do?
Let's stay at home and watch a DVD.
Oh, no, we watched a DVD last night.
Well, let's go to the cinema.
OK. Which film do you want to see?
Okay, were you correct? Maybe. Okay. Now, do you know my friend Bob? Yeah, he's terrible, Bob. Okay, now, Bob has a girlfriend at the moment. Her name is Jane. So it's Bob and Jane. He changes girlfriends from time to time. Now, here we have, so again, on the vocabulary sheet, same one with the, so you have the verb structures, remember? Now here we have a little conversation on the phone between Bob and Jane. Okay. And we use lots of suggestions, lots of different suggestions. Okay, so listen to the audio and can you complete the dialogue here with the audio? Okay, and you can click on the audio on the website to listen again. Okay, so complete the exercises and you will find we use the different verb structures. Okay, so try to complete the dialogue.
Hello?
Hello, Bob. It's Jane. How are you?
Oh, hi, Jane. I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm calling because there's a new film on at the cinema tonight. Would you like to see it with me?
Oh, maybe. What's it called?
Bridget Jones 5, The Hunt for Love.
I think it's not really my cup of tea.
Oh, okay. Well, what about watching a different film? There's Arnold Schwarzenegger in Attack of the Killer Robots.
Sorry, Jane, but I saw it last week. How about eating dinner at my house? I could cook my signature dish, chips with pineapple.
Bob, your cooking is delicious, but do you want to get a takeaway?
Good idea. Shall we order from the Thai restaurant?
Yes, I love Thai food.
Okay. What time do you want to come?
Shall I come at about 8:30?
Okay. Let's eat a takeaway. And I've got a surprise for you. I've booked a holiday to Venice for us.
Wow, that's great news. Let's go on a gondola with a gondolier who sings opera.
Maybe. We can talk about that tonight.
Remember, you have to renew your passport.
Don't worry. I'll send it to the passport office this weekend.
See you tonight at 8:30.
Yeah. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Is it okay? Does Bob have some fantastic ideas? Yeah, he is a romantic man, Bob. Well, maybe you saw, in fact, you have the solution to the exercise on the second page. You have the solution here. Okay, but a really good exercise, honestly, is to learn a dialogue by heart, to really learn the different expressions. Try to memorize a little dialogue. This dialogue, you have all the different structures you need, and you can test yourself. So try to memorize it. It's very important to memorize things in English. Okay. Now, just to finish, okay, here on the same page here we have some different questions and some different answers. So again, just quickly stop the video and try to match, associate the questions and the answers. Okay? Yeah, is it okay? So question number 1, so where Bob and Jane eat dinner, or so when Bob and Jane eat dinner, when? So the answer, last weekend. Okay. Where eat? At Bob's house, chez Bob. Who cook? Bob. Which dish, le plat, which dish cook? His signature dish. What 2 things cook? Chips, les frites, yeah, chips, and pineapple, ananas. Ananas frites. Yum, yum, yum. Okay. Why cook it? Why cook this dish? Because he didn't have any fish. So fish and chips, no. Pineapple and chips at Bob's house. How cook it? In the microwave. Micro-ondes, in the microwave. How much wine drink? A lot. Yeah, and how many bottles drink? 4. Ooh, not a good idea. Okay, now I want to stop the video again and just here, okay, can you make the complete questions for Bob and Jane and the dinner? So what are the complete questions with auxiliaries, for example? So when Bob and Jane eat dinner, the complete question is when did, it's the past, Bob and Jane eat dinner? Okay, so try to complete the questions here. Okay, no problems. So number 1, when did Bob and Jane eat dinner? So again, the past, where did they eat? Now, who, en fait, who, ça peut fonctionner comme le sujet. Yeah? So, qui a cuisiné? So, who cooked? Okay, there's no did. Who cooked? Okay, so qui est venu? Who came? Qui a cuisiné? Who cooked? Who is different. Okay, so who cooked? Just the past. So what 2 things did Bob cook? What 2 things did he cook? Okay, or which dish did he cook? Which dish did he cook? Why did he cook it? How did he cook it? How did he cook it? How much wine did they drink? And how many bottles did they drink? So it's questions in the past. And do you remember the difference? How much and how many? So how much is for something we do not count. Okay? How much water? How much sugar? How much flour? Okay? How much money? Okay? because we do not say, you know, 1 money, 2 money, 3 money, un argent, 2 argent, 3 argent, no. So just de l'argent. So how much money? Or farine, you know, une farine, 2 farines, 3 farines, no, just, you know, de la farine. So how much flour? Okay, how much wine? Okay, but how many for something we count. How many bottles? 1, 2, 3, 4. Combien de chaises? You know, how many chairs? Okay, so how much and how many? Okay, good. So I hope you liked Bob's conversation. Now, next week, we are going to tell some stories. So I hope you like stories in English. But before I forget, what about doing some homework? Let's do some homework. Shall we do some homework? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So this week, can you do the last page in the unit? And it is, where are we? Where are we? Yes, it's unit 12. And yes, it's page 60 in the book, page 60. So you have an exercise on prepositions. You must select the best preposition for the sentences. It's not easy. Remember to correct your answers afterwards. Prepositions are horrible, I know. It's just repetition, repetition. You have a little translation to do. And remember, the answers are available on the website. And a listening exercise. So listen to the audio. Okay, so we have Laura or Lara and Mick on holiday in Corsica in France. So listen and tick, cocher, tick the things they decide to do. And again, with lots of different suggestions. And if you can, if you are very enthusiastic and you have nothing to do, really try to learn the conversation with Bob and Jane by heart. It's an excellent exercise for your English. And I hope I will see you soon. But thank you for your hard work. Have a good week. Okay, see you. Bye-bye.